Happy 2026. It is a new year. We don't have any new ewes yet. We're still waiting on lambs. But we wanted to start the new year off with some following up on our accomplishments in 2025 and what 2026 is going to look like. Things we're working on, things we're planning. We are in the sheep shed right now. And just want to give a little bit more transparency this year. We're going to do some more videos of like day-to-day operations and hopefully show a lot of the changes that we're growing into this year. So we have 16 ewes, I believe, in this barnyard. There's another feed shelter next door that some of them are in, and they work their way around. They will lamb in here. They'll probably be sporadic, so we're pretty much at the point of outgrowing this space. So that's one of our things for this year. Hopefully we got some people calling us back, and we're working on that. But one of the things we talked about is the systematic change of getting all of the sheep, the entire flock, out rotationally grazing for the entire grazing season. Hi, sweetheart. This is one of our youngest little girls. And the systematic change comes with a lot of new equipment we need, a lot of changes that we need to purchase and figure out. So doing it slow, starting in 2024 with a very small pilot program, expanding it this year, last year in 2025, allowed us to see what worked, what didn't work, how we can make that better before we implement rotational grazing for the entire flock. Now, this is not on our property. This is this moves around from parcel to parcel, so it needs to work before we try moving big amounts of sheep. So one of the things is we needed electric fencing that is going to withstand constant moving. We need solar chargers for the different groups that will be out, because we'll have the boys separate. We need water systems that are sustainable. Like, all this needs to be sustainable so it can work. So things we learned was we wanted to get a little bit better of electric fencing. We use net fencing, so we are upgrading that. We wanted to have a better watering system. We were going with buckets and filling, and in the fall it's not too bad. There's a lot of moisture in the grass and they're not drinking as much because they're getting the water from the grass. But in the summer when it's hot, they definitely need a lot more water. So we need a system that's going to work, and we need to be able to deliver that water because they are remote. So we have some plans for that that we're working on, and we'll show those as we get all of that gathered and set up. And then shade. Shade is a huge thing. So when we're talking parcels of land that are just wide open fields and it's great, we have a lot of grass, there's a lot to eat. That's the boys you hear next door whacking on things. They need shade. So we looked at different shade options. It's got to obviously be movable, so it can't be a heavy structure that, you know, can only be moved by tractor. That's great if you're on your own property, you have your access to your tractor, but with them being off property, it's got to be movable by hand. So that was another thing we had to take into consideration for having a larger operation with the sheep out on remote land. So there was a lot of work that went in this fall into finding solutions that would work for us, work with timelines, because we still go to market. We still have days that we have other things we have to do. But we need to be able to maintain the sheep and keep an eye on them. Still looking into probably a solar, or, I mean, not solar, satellite or cellular camera system so that we can kind of keep a remote eye on it as well. I haven't found the best camera. Like, there's a lot out there, so If anyone has ideas on that, welcome to share. We've had a lot of changes, but as the flock grows, we have a lot of growing to do. So the one thing, we've got the fencing figured out. We've got the waters kind of figured out. We think we have a system. Obviously, it will take some testing. And we've got transportation is a thing. So when we were doing the small flock, we were just putting them in the back of the truck. There's only a couple of them. We can move them. It did take help. It wasn't something I could do myself. And they were all pretty young, so they didn't weigh a lot. These girls obviously weigh much more than what we were moving, the young sheep. They're bigger, and they're going to take a trailer. It's not going to be something we're going to put them in the back of a truck. They're going to need a trailer. So that is something we're working on. Like I said, it's a systematic change, so there's a lot that goes into it. It's not easy to just pick up and change everything. The other part with growing the flock is this is their shelter. So when we first started, the sheep were actually in that small little shed right there. There was enough space in there. There's only 3 of them. That was fine. And then they moved into the shelter. It was at a different spot, but they moved into that big calf tail out front, which fit plenty of them. And then we did another year. We extended it a bit with a tunnel. They outgrew that, and then they took over. This was actually meant as shelter for my tractor, and they have taken that over the past couple of years. But to continue growing the flock, we're going to need something bigger. We're going to need something more sustainable. The winds have changed here. A lot of people have seen increased winds in this area, but the change here is with the lot cleared across the road, we actually have a directional change, and we're getting hit from 3 sides now with pretty heavy winds. So it's causing a lot more. It's going to cause this structure, the tent structure, and the amount of sun that we get to not last pretty much at all. So we've got a change going on there. There's a lot of work to do in there. So there's so much going on. It's not just feed the sheep, go, or it's not just the morning chores or the evening chores. There's a lot that goes on in the background to running everything. With more sheep in the flock, we will have more product available, which means, hi buddy, more fiber available, more lamb available. I know they're so cute. They're little. This is our littlest boy. That's Huck. And it's just more for us to make the farm sustainable. With sheep farming, you're not going to make money unless you are capitalizing on all the ways to make income off of your flock. So with a better structure in place, that we're hoping to get done, hopefully in 2026, we will be able to put new stuff in place for new products and new income streams. So that's really where we're focused this year. It's going to be a lot of field work, but also a lot of office work to get all the puzzle pieces in place and set so we can grow the flock and the product and the farm all together, so everything is moving succinctly. So I said this was where we had started the sheep when we just had 3 of them. It is now our hay storage. It stores a couple other things, but can only fit about 60 bales, and that is not enough to make it worth having hay delivered. So I pick it up every 2 weeks. We pick up 30 to 40 bales every 2 weeks. So that makes it's a lot more effort. It's a lot more time out of that could be spent on other things. It is more gas, more wear and tear on vehicle. So those are some of the things that with having a structure that will be more sustainable to the winds. It'll be more, it will just help everything, all of our operations, and get everything mainstreamed and flowing nicely. Allow us to store everything in one place, have everything, you know, at our fingertips, not running to go get this out of the garage, this out of the shed, this out of the barn. Like we'll try to get everything in one place so we know where it is, we have easy access to it, and just kind of streamline everything. We can get hay delivered in bulk and not have to run around all the time and check the weather and make sure everything is moving and going to work in our favor. So that's where we're at going into 2026. I've got computer work today to get some applications in for more funding, and we'll see how we go. But we've got quite a bit going on, though it's quiet. We're going into lambing soon, so we got to get these things done so we are ready for these sheep to start lambing. We will see you next time. Stay tuned, and Happy New Year.